folks, for those of you who saw my last video, no, you didn't. Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway took place a few days ago, and McGregor certainly did not do it. I did predict Holloway was gonna win, but this wasn't even a fight, man. This wasn't even a fight. Um, Crazy that this of all events, it's always the ones with the highest stakes and the most intrigue that have the fluke fucking nonsense, man. I mean, when have you ever seen another fight in which a guy throws a kick and immediately his knee explodes immediately? Like you have it with like Aspinall in the first round. You have it with McGregor now. Like injuries for some reason are only happening to the top dogs or at least to the biggest stars, and it's super super frustrating, especially because, and I made the video about it to kind of give you guys a better idea. I was pretty excited for this, man. I had a feeling, I don't know, the card itself was elite. We're going to talk about the matchups on the card. We're going to start with the main event, but I just had a feeling that this was going to be something. People were counting Conor out, rightfully so. I mean, I fully expected Conor McGregor to get his ass kicked in this fight. I was expecting Holloway to just outskill him, out activity him, kind of show him, hey man, this is what life is like now in the UFC. This is what happens when you leave and then come back. You get beat the fuck up by me. I thought that's what was going to happen, man. I did not think Conor was going to win. However, I thought, similar to what Dana White said in his interview afterward, that we were en route for a first round war. That we were in store for something crazy off the rip. I thought Conor was going to come out explosive, crazy, throwing the kitchen sink at Max, which he kind of did, to be fair. Um, and I thought we were going to have a really entertaining, really compelling first round, and then Conor would fade and Max would get him out of there in the later rounds. Kind of all of the Mayweather fight, honestly, where he just kind of wilts near the end. But we would all be able to say, like, damn, man, Conor looked old, he looked withered, he came out there, did his thing. But, like, at least he got in there, five years out, makes the comeback. I thought that was the conversation we were going to be having today. Instead, we are having the worst possible conversation you could imagine, right? Where this fight basically didn't happen. For those who aren't unaware somehow, McGregor starts the fight with a sprinting, jumping switch kick and misses, because obviously you're not going to KO Max Holloway with a sprinting, jumping switch kick in the first 5 seconds. And when he lands after throwing that kick, he fucking blows his knee up. And then he's limping and hobbling and falling all over the place. This fight didn't happen. There's nothing you can take away from here. It's even worse than Pantoja Van, where Pantoja Van, at least you saw something. Like, Pantoja was putting that pressure on him at least a little bit. This one, you saw literally nothing. You saw literally nothing. So, awful. Awful. Awful for the UFC. Awful for McGregor. Awful for Holloway outside of the fat paycheck. And same with McGregor for the fat paycheck. But, I mean, this does nothing for anybody. This does literally nothing for anybody. Conor now, who gives a shit? Right? Even if he comes back again, who cares? But people like kind of cared about this, and then the hype, I made the video. The hype was starting to build as the fight went on, and we were getting to a point where we were like, okay, maybe Conor's back. Maybe this is a thing again. Maybe we can get excited about another McGregor fight. Um, and that was happening in the build-up. At least it was for me. The press conference and the weigh-ins and the Connor's walkout. I mean, at least we got that Connor's walk and the energy behind it. I've been seeing a lot of people online saying shit like, "Oh, he looked nervous. He looked nervous." I mean, I don't really put too much stock in that, to be honest with you. And I didn't really think that. I thought he looked, fine. And in his training footage, which you saw, he was throwing those kicks dynamically. I don't believe he was injured going in. I honestly think he's just fucking unlucky, and he did something stupid, which increases the likelihood of, an issue like this happening. So fucking brutal for Conor McGregor. Brutal for Conor McGregor, for the man. He's gonna go right back to the nose clams, I fear. He says he has one more fight in his contract. He says that it's a surgical repair that is necessary, but it's not an ACL tear. He seems to be suggesting that it's, some kind of, MCL or whatever. And if that's the case and we can get Conor back for one more, Fuck it, Chandler. Let's do it. They're both so unfathomably washed. Although I don't know. I think Connor's body is washed. I think his skill set is still there, but I just don't think. I think he thinks he could just walk out there and be who he was. But at 38 years old, after all the injuries, and now even with this, I mean, who fucking knows what he'll look like in his next fight? I think him and Chandler is still the fight to make. Retirement fight for both of them. Let's just do that. Whatever. Max Holloway sucks for him. I mean, he doesn't even really get to say he has a win over Connor. It's like how Van has a win over Pantoja. It's like, okay, sure. I think Max just goes back into the lightweight queue as if he is coming off that loss over Charles. I think he's gonna be a guy that has to take one of those up and comers. I think Rufy or Paddy or whomever will probably end up fighting Max next, maybe Armin, depending. But I think he's right there in the top, fight away from a title shot as usual. But really tough, man, really rough way to end the card, especially because it was such a generational card, capped off by the fucking most insane submission you have ever seen in your entire life from Paddy Pimblett. I mean, one strike thrown, four for Paddy. I mean, this fight, man oh man, is this the greatest day of Paddy Pimblett's life. I mean, Paddy Pimblett stole the fucking show. I mean, he was already a big star going into this, but the way the McGregor Holloway fight ended, this was, I mean, no matter how it would have gone outside of the way it went in the main event, that would have been probably the main topic of conversation. Like, oh my God, Connor, this, that, and the other. Dude, Paddy, what he did here, he fucking stole the show, and he's a massive star, and he's fucking good. And it's time we stop underestimating him, man. Paddy Pimblett goes out there against Benoit Saint-Denis, and Benoit does what he does. He fucking throws the big heavy body kick, and he looks like a fucking loser. And then he shoots in for a naked takedown, and Paddy grabs the guillotine, transitions into the darce, and alligator rolls his fucking head off. I mean, Paddy looked like he was going to kill Benoit Saint-Denis, which is crazy. You look at Benoit, this French special forces badass, and Paddy, this goofball scouser idiot. And Paddy fucking executes Benoit Saint-Denis within a minute. I mean, this was a competitive fight. I picked Paddy Pimblett here by submission, I believe, because I just could not stop thinking about the Moicano fight for Saint-Denis. But maybe, honestly, probably, I should have been more concerned about the King Green fight for Pimblett. I should have taken that into more consideration. If you shoot sloppy against Paddy Pimblett, you're going to sleep. That's clear. He's a reactive submission grappler who can fucking take you out of there if you go for something messy on him. That's been proven time and time again now at a pretty high level, especially against BSD. I've never been super high on BSD. I think he's okay. The fact that he was top 5 is crazy, and I think says a lot about the lightweight division. He'll go back to marauding it up in the bottom 10. That makes sense for BSD. I think him and, there's a couple decent matchups for him. But Paddy, man, holy shit. His star power exploded. He's one of the biggest stars in the sport, no doubt about it. And he's fucking good. He might sniff a belt someday, which nobody would have thought about prior to this. And you look at his history recently. He lost a war against Gaethje where he didn't use any of his takedowns or submissions. He just stood with Gaethje and didn't get knocked out or put away, which in retrospect, pretty impressive for Paddy after what happened with Gaethje and Ilya. And then other than that, sure, some of his older wins, Chandler, not a great win. Bobby Green looking like a better win the way he got him out of there so easily. And then BSD, I mean, that is a good win. A lightweight is what it is these days, but BSD is a solid win, especially to sub him in a minute. I mean, that is just such an impressive way to win this fight for Paddy. And I think that the next step for him is so clear. I think the lightweight division really figured itself out today in a lot of ways. Paddy Pimblett, Ilya Topuria, that is the fight to make. It's been the fight to make. It's been the fight we all dreamed of for years. And we always kind of were like, yo, Ilya kills him. Ilya kills him. Listen, man. I mean, listen. Would I pick Ilya to beat Paddy? I would, yes. Is it way closer than people have given it credit for historically? 100%. 100%, man. I mean, Paddy Pimblett is no joke. And I think that would be a really compelling fight. I think that could main event a pay-per-view in its own right. I know we're not doing pay-per-views, but I think That could be an Ultimate Fighter season. It's a shame we're doing fucking Bisping and DC. Who cares? Ilya and Paddy Ultimate Fighter season with them fighting at the end for the number one contendership, while Armin fights Justin Gaethje or Gaethje retires, and Armin fights Oliveira for the vacant belt, and Holloway does whatever. Dude, I mean that Paddy Ilya, the fight to make, such a compelling matchup. Now I think their timelines are gonna work out. The fucking beef there is huge, and talk about star power. Winner of that fight, whew, next level star. Amazing performance from Paddy Pimblett. Stole the show. Greatest look of the night. Really, really impressive. BSD, man, back to fucking France with you. Moving on down the card. Corey Sandhagen, Mario Batista. I picked Mario Batista to win this fight by decision. Mario Batista won this fight by decision. It went more or less how I expected it to, with the notable factor of Mario Batista getting Corey Sandhagen into a Suloev stretch early on in the first round, or my bad, early on in the fight, end of the first round, and compromising Sandhagen's leg for the remainder of the fight. After that, Sandhagen was just not the same guy. He was clearly hurt. He clearly had some problems. And despite that, still performed and did quite well and showed up pretty well for a guy that was injured. I thought it was a very close first round. I thought if not for the Suloev stretch, Corey Sandhagen had a pretty good argument to win that first round. I think Corey Sandhagen had a decent argument to win the second round as well. But Batista clearly won the third round, and I think with the damage from the submission attempt in the first round, Batista would win the first round as well. I don't think this is a robbery. I think this is a pretty clear Mario Batista win due to Corey Sandhagen being injured from a technique that Batista employed. Batista, man, I know we all fucking hate his guts after the Jose Aldo fight, and he does still have a tendency to do that, as we saw in the end of this fight, the last round, where he was just trying to grapple with Sandhagen and take him down and not really do anything. He has been doing that still, so let's not forget that. But since that fight against Jose Aldo, Mario Batista has definitely gotten more exciting. I mean, he dropped Umar, he dropped Corey. His submissions are looking good. He's dangerous on the feet. I mean, he's a top five bantamweight, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Sandhagen, he's good, man. He is good, but he just gets too caught up in his own head, I think, and he can't execute when he needs to. And Batista proved that. So, high level fight. I think Mario Batista should fight someone in the tippy top. I mean, I don't know, man. It's a tough one. I think him and O'Malley are teammates, so you're not going to be getting an O'Malley fight out of him. He already fought Umar and lost. I think it depends on what happens with the title picture. He might be in kind of a weird spot. I would be cool with Mario Batista versus Marab, and you could just give Sean O'Malley the title fight against Petr Yan. I think I would be fine with that. Sandhagen, say hello to Peyton Talbot. Say hello to Peyton Talbot, Sandhagen. That is your next matchup. So, great fight, though. Really high level, really impressive stuff. A little bit of a snoozer, but still a good fight. Speaking of good fights, Brandon Royval versus Loner Kavanagh. I got this pick wrong. Brandon Royval fucking dogged it out, as he is known to. He's such a fucking cool dude. He's such a tough guy. Such a tough fight for anyone. Loner Kavanagh looked good in this fight. Brandon Royval looked exceptional in this fight. He was on his game, doing his techniques to the absolute max, flicking that jab out there nonstop. Fucking nonstop. And just having too much dog in him. He's just a tough little dude that will fuck you up. He's just a fighter at heart. And so is Kavanagh, but I mean, this was just too much. To be fair to Loney Kavanagh, he knocked down Brandon Royval pretty bad in the second round and almost had him out of there. And then Royval choked him out in the third round. But Royval was putting mustard on him for most of it. I mean, Loney had that nice moment in the second, but this was mostly Brandon Royval kind of showing Loney Kavanagh back to the minor leagues. It was, in a lot of ways, kind of similar to the Tyra fight, where Royval just continues to show that he is just at that top level. He's had some tough matchups. I mean, he got knocked out by Manel Kape. Just how good is Manel Kape, you know? Which is a tough one. And then he lost to Pantoja and you know, all that. But, dude, he beat Tatsuro Taira. He beat Loney Kavanagh. He's very much still a top dog. He deserves top dog treatment. I think he should get a fight against, you know, I don't even know who. He called out Azu Amabayev. I think that's fair, because that's like the only guy in the top whatever that he hasn't fought. Fucking, I don't like Amabayev, so if Royval can get him out of there, that'd be sick. Loney Kavanagh, let's be fair about something to Loney Kavanagh, and I fell for this. He's a little bit of an industry plant. He had some decent scraps, but then he got knocked out by Charles Johnson. And then he got short notice put into that fight with Moreno, where fair enough, he beat the shit out of Brandon Moreno. Fair enough. But we're just not, it's not like he has a solid, established top five flyweight resume, right? They gave him Royval off that win because he beat Moreno, which puts him in that level. But he was never really that guy. He's never really been established at that point, and now we know that. So I think Loney Kavanaugh should go back to like the top 10 area at flyweight, have those matchups against whomever. And Royval should have I guess it is Asio Mabayev, and then go from there, depending on how that is. But he's in a tough spot because he's lost to a lot of the other top guys at flyweight. So great scrap, though, as Royval tends to do. Got my pick right. Bobby Green, Robert Green versus Terrence McKinney. Weird fight. Scrap, as we all expected. Terrence McKinney was putting belt to ass on Bobby Green for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And then Bobby Green clipped him with a body shot and got him out of there. I mean, it's a one-round war. It's what we knew would happen, and it's just the classic Terrence McKinney story, where he cannot be the nail. He can only be the hammer. And he's a damn good hammer, but he cannot take punishment. He can dish out punishment. He's the definition of a glass cannon. Boy, oh boy, in that first round, he's either going to fuck you up or you're going to kill him. I mean, it's one or the other. And Bobby Green was kind of taking the backside of that. He was getting his ass beat for most of the round. But, again, Terrence McKinney blows his load like he always does and doesn't know what he's doing. And leaves himself in a position for King Green to get him out of there with a lucky body shot and then ground and pound. I have no problem with the stoppage. I think that fight deserved to be stopped. I do think with a second left to go, maybe you could have let it go that extra second, but is that the ref's job? I don't know. Is it to step in when they genuinely believe it's time for the fight to end? Or is it to let the last second go by so it's a round two? And if there was a round two, I would have favored King Green, but it would have still been more of an engaging and entertaining scrap if it did go that far. But King Green, man, he's on what? Like a 2-fight finish streak? Or not two, 4? A 4-fight win streak? Most of them by finish? We got to give him a ranked opponent, King Green, and I know who it is. It's Dan Hooker. We give King Green Dan Hooker, or we give King Green like Michael Chandler. Like, give him an unk matchup. I think Dan Hooker is the fucking fight. That would finally let Dan Hooker have a good fight, which he's been needing for a while now. Just like a fun matchup for him. Fucking King Green, man. I swear to God, every so often he goes on these little runs. Every couple years he goes on these little runs, and he's on one right now. Terrence McKinney, go back to fucking slobber knockers on the prelims. That's what you're best for anyway. Moving up, down the card. Bobby Nux gets it done, baby, against Nikita Krylov. I still don't really understand why Robert Whittaker moved to light heavyweight. He's never been that big at middleweight. He was always kind of a smaller middleweight. And Nikita Krylov was huge compared to him. But Bobby Knuckles came in with that lighter man skill and that blitzing 1-2 jab, 1-2 jab cross. Good to know that at light heavy, he still has that skill set. And he's still able to do that, to jet in and out and has his movement down. And apparently he's got some pop. I mean, he was putting hands on Krylov a lot of the time. Never looked like he was going to knock out Krylov, but did break his jaw. So is that better? Who's to say? So pretty great win for Robert Whittaker. I mean, Krylov is a little over it. I think he's a little past the prime for sure. But he was a top 15 guy, and now Whittaker is going to be a top 15 guy right in there with Paulo Costa, which just shows how much better middleweights are than light heavyweights. I don't really know what to do with Whittaker, though. I don't think he beats many guys at the top of this division. I don't think he beats Olberg. I don't think he beats Yuri. I don't think he beats Nikolaev. I think Khalil gives him a tough fight. He's got some tough matchups ahead of him, Robert Whittaker, I think, due to his size and, his chin might be a question. We don't know that yet, but I think Paulo Costa is going to do better at light heavyweight than Whittaker will. But I'll be curious to see how he does because he's very good and he's very experienced and he's got that veteran energy to him. So who's to say what happens with Whittaker? I'm excited to see his next fight. I'm glad he won. He's been talking about this all week. It is a tale as old as time when you have washed up light middleweights moving up to light heavy and they get fucked. So I'm glad that is not the case with Robert Whittaker and he can keep having some cool and intense performances. Krylov, I don't give a shit. So good fight for Bobby Nux. Very happy for him. Moving up. All right. I was not impressed with Gable Steveson. I was not impressed with Gable Steveson. He went in there and he had a fucking slobber knocker where he looked sloppy as hell against Elijah Ellison, who landed some decent shots on him. Gable is aggressive. He's got the John Jones style to him. He's very aggressive. He does vicious techniques. And obviously his wrestling pedigree is really good. But Elijah Ellison stuffed one of his takedowns. And Gable was out there throwing sloppy. I know he put out Elijah Ellison, but he was out there throwing sloppy, which is kind of what I predicted, that he might get the KO with a wrestling man's overhand, which is more or less what happened. I get that Gable is green, but him being minus 2,000 or whatever, I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit. Okay, I think anyone at the top of the heavyweight division right now, I think beats Gable. I think Gable would lose to Josh Hockett. I think Gable would lose to any of the top 5 guys. I think we need to calm down with Gable Steveson. He has the potential. He's green. He has time to learn. He has time to adjust. But he needs to chill out, I think. I mean, Elijah Ellison is nobody. Who cares? But Gable Steveson needs to relax, and we need to give him someone that's not that intense of a matchup, like Vitor Petrino. Someone just outside the top 10, or like in the top 15, or just prior to that. Like, not a fucking but someone, Gaziev. Someone in that realm. Let's not give Gable a fucking top 10 guy right away. Okay? I think he needs the experience. He's 4-0 now. He needs to chill out. He has the potential to be pretty good, but he's got to refine some aspects of his game. And I think if you just feed him to one of the top guys, he's not going to be able to do that. Honestly, give him Derek Lewis. I'm cool with that. I mean, if you're looking for the star power matchups, that would be fine with me. His wrestling pedigree is good, and he's got vicious technique, and obviously being the athlete he is, and under the John Jones pedigree, he's got a lot of potential. But he's gotta hone it in, man. He's gotta hone it in. Good win for him, but he's gotta let's slow roll this guy. Okay, let's not go crazy. Moving on down the card. I admit I picked Cody Garbrandt here, and for the first minute, I thought I was a genius. Where Cody was coming out looking fast as hell, looking aggressive, doing damage. I was really impressed with Cody in the first minute. I thought that I might have just pulled off the craziest underdog pick in the world. But Cody Garbrandt has no head movement and he has no chin. So once Adrian Yanez kind of figured out what he was doing and got him out of there, or figured him out, Cody just resorted to his typical moves. And Yanez put him away with a lethal 4-piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bang, 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 bang. Down goes Cody Garbrandt. Garbrandt put his gloves in his hands. He might have retired. He got no love for that. So who's to say? Yeah, man. Cody Garbrandt has been the same guy for fucking 10 years now. Where he's lightning fast with his hands, but that's about it. And the game is evolving, and you have guys like Yanez that are just better. So, thought I was onto something with the crafty Cody Garbrandt pick. I was not, in fact, onto something with the crafty Cody Garbrandt pick. Although for that first minute, I thought maybe, I thought maybe I'm onto something. But good win for Yanez. Yanez has always been fun. I'm happy for him. And Garbrandt, I think it's time to pack it up. Moving on down the card. Fucking Luke Riley, lad. Luke Riley is sick. We know he's sick. I thought this was a fine stoppage. I could see the concern, but I thought it was mostly fine. Puts away Kai Kamaka. No issues there. Luke Riley's a lot of fun, man. And with Paddy's star growing, Luke Riley's star can grow right alongside him. But Luke Riley's gotten a couple wins now. 3 or so wins in the UFC. I think we're going to have to give him someone just outside the top 15 at featherweight. Like a Dan Ige. I think he's around that time for Luke Riley. Luke Riley, really fun. Little open on the feet, but man, does he have dynamite in those hands, and man, can he put the mustard on people. So, tough for Kai Kamaka. Kai Kamaka was definitely a step up for Luke Riley, but Luke Riley did what Luke Riley does, and that was kind of the point of this fight. I want to see something a little more competitive next time for Luke Riley. Because he was challenged against Bogdan Grad, and I think he'll be challenged against some of these top guys, but it'll be cool to see if he can overcome that. He's got a lot of star potential. He needs big wins to see that through, and Kai Kamaka just isn't that. But great win for Luke Riley. Early prelims were fine. Wang Kong beat Tracy Cortez. Not surprised. Damian Pinos, he's pretty good, man. One shot puts out Cesar Almeida. Farid Basharat's so mid. I know he's undefeated, but John Garza actually did very, very good for being a short notice guy here. I think Ethan Ewing would have beat Farid Basharat. And then Gondra gets the KO, and Alessandro Costa gets the sub, I think. So, I mean, really solid card. I mean, you look at these early things here. Finish, great fight, finish, okay fight, finish, finish, decision, finish. I mean, a lot of good matchups on this card. It was on its way to being generational, especially after that Paddy Pimblett moment, and then Conor McGregor fucked it up by doing something stupid. So, great card. I'm not going to pretend it wasn't. I was hyped the whole time leading up to the very moment where McGregor shattered his leg. That doesn't mean it wasn't a great card. That doesn't mean it wasn't super entertaining. Really, really excited to see what happens next with a bunch of these fighters. But I think Conor's done. I think he can have his Chandler fight and then be done from there. But let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this matchup. And until next time, thank you guys.